All right. What's up, guys? We're waiting for more people to arrive. So, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna start. We're gonna start with what we got. It's the first time that I'm doing a live on TikTok. It is the fourth time I do a live on YouTube. So it'll grow. I'm sure. I will not rest until we got 1,000 people here. Awesome. So we're gonna talk about three things we're going to do today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about so there are three parts that are essential in a phone call, right? One is posturing yourself. You from the beginning when you're a setter, when you're a closer, it doesn't matter. You have to set yourself up as the expert, right? Now, what's the expert? What does that mean? When you're the setter, and again, for those people on TikTok that will see this, when people talk about setting, they're talking about what, or they refer to a setter, they talk about someone who sets an appointment up. I'm not talking about that. It's not, and I talk to people here on YouTube on the fact that when we talk about the setter in high ticket, we're talking about at least the way that I train people. We talk about people that set deals, not appointments, deals. Comprehensively, that includes setting up the appointment, the mindset, the intention, the proposition, right? A lot of people, especially when you're young or when you haven't been in the space of business investing, one of the things that people fear the most is how do I deal with people that have powerful mindsets? Like, what do I do with a doctor, right? What do I do with an attorney? How do I conduct myself? I'm 20 years old. How do I conduct myself? Uh, how do I conduct myself in a way that I can dominate somebody who's got 20 years of experience being a high end attorney or doctor? And so I'm building up to the takeaway. I'm building up to that because I think it's important that you guys understand how takeaways. So what's the okay? So let me continue what I was just explaining because I don't want to get sidetracked and then you guys get confused. So we're building up to takeaway. So you're 19 years old, you're 20, 25, and you get someone on the phone who's an expert in whatever it is that they do, an architect, an engineer, an attorney, a doctor, or just simply a person with a very strong character and personality. How do I dominate a call? And you feel that your level of expertise is less than that of a person who's been in a profession for a very long time, right? They know how to handle themselves. They've probably been through a lot of meetings, professional meetings, right? They know how to talk to people. Well, that's where the magic comes in when you are a salesperson, a closer. If you think about it, even if you're a setter, you're closing something. You're closing an idea, right? You're closing an intention. You're not getting the credit card, right? We just say hi to something. Bobby, hello, Bobby. Good to have you here. Alejandra, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming. Venture to Excel, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Paula is here as well. Thank you very much. And we got 55. Awesome. 55. I like that number. That's awesome. We got Adriana as well. Thank you for coming. And Yoey, awesome. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, awesome. We got a lot of people signing in. Awesome. And um, TikTok's a little too small for me to read the names, but we're gonna talk to you guys as well. All right. Let me just find out. But before I find out, let me just finish my thought. So I want you to understand one thing. You have to be clever in the way you are going to measure up to somebody, right? Now, remember, one of the things that I teach is when you make that call, when you're the setter and you make that call, right? You are coming, you're at the lower tier. You're at the bottom of the steps, and the customer's up here. You're the one who wants something from him. And for all he cares, you might be a telemarketer offering some cold call product. So you're going to be at a loss right there. Your job is to get that person quickly to switch places with you. Not because he's going to tell you, okay, it's not like you're going to ask him for a deal. Hey, can you come down here so I can get up there? That's not how it works, right? You have to exercise your mindset on him or her, right? So the way you make your position firm, the way you stabilize your position on the call, even if you're just a setter, and you heard me say this before, setters are the most important part of the process. And the reason is you're the first contact the company has with that customer. You are the first contact. You got to be very meticulous in the way that you're gonna approach that call. So at that point, you're not coming at a disadvantage with an attorney or a doctor or somebody who's super experienced in whatever field they got in their profession. And here's the reason why. They might be experts in whatever it is that they do for a living, but they are not experts in what you are doing. They are not expert setters. You are. And in that call, the conversation is not, if the guy's an attorney, the conversation is not about the law. You're not coming to his office to ask him for advice. He's got to take the passenger seat and you're going to be driving him there, right? So if someone wants to push you to do something you shouldn't be doing because it's outside the process, you stop him right there and you say, I can appreciate what you want to do right now, but I'm just going to have to be honest with you. I have been given a task, and I'm very ethical in the way that I perform my job, and my job is to follow certain steps and get you to where you need to be if you want to work with us, right? If this makes sense, you're going to follow the process right there. And if you have the confidence, you can't say that without confidence. You can't. There's no way to say that without confidence, right? So right there, you are going to make your confidence hurt, and the prospect will respect. And now you set the tune for that call. Now you can, at that point, you start dominating that arm wrestle, right? That's how you come in. And now you're setting yourself up for posture, number one. So what is posture? Is the place of respect that you earn in that call. You have to earn it. Nobody's going to give it to you for free. No one will give you respect just because you think you earn it. You got it because you think you have it, right? You have to earn it. You have to earn it, right? Once you posture, you're not going to be the bad guy, right? You kind of play the bad guy for a little bit. You just let the guy know, listen, this is how the tune of the call is going to sound like now it's time to relax, right? And you're gonna ask them questions, whatever questions relevant to the call you have, right? And then you are going to do takeaway. So what's a takeaway? And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys. Like I'm kind of going backwards here because I explained what posture is. I'm explaining takeaway. And in another call, another training session, I'm going to talk about rapport, which is one of the things that people hear the most, but people do not understand the most, right? So, guys, I don't know if you can hear me well, but I think you're going to hear me better now. My apologies. So, what's a takeaway? A takeaway is an action you take on the call that shakes the prospect a little bit and let him know that he doesn't have something he thinks he automatically has. Let me elaborate on this thought. The customer thinks this guy wants my money. Okay, so since he wants my money, this guy needs to hurry up, right? Let's cut to the chase. I love when they say let's cut to the chase because one of the things I tell them is, listen, last time that we talked, that we were here in this live training session, I explained to you guys that there are two parts of the sale, the setter and the closer. Inside the closer, you got two sections, the psychological section and the technical section, right? When one person does both, that's intro closing. And I do a lot of intro closing, right? I set my own deal, I call the person, and I set my own deal, and I close my own deal. That's called intro closing, when you're doing set and close at the same time. So one of the things that I do is if I have to, at that point in my rhetoric, once I'm going through the spiel, right, I let them know that this is going to be a step-by-step evaluation to see if it works. Now, when I say that, guys, if you're working with a sensible account, an account that's ethical and that wants to be in business for a long time, you will notice that even if someone, when you have someone difficult on the call, even if that person wants to give you money, you want to leave it on the table because it doesn't make sense to work with someone difficult. When you close someone who's been really difficult and you have to bend over backwards for that person a few times and the person maybe behaved a little bit abusively, then you send that person to the coach and the coach is going to get that problem. And when you have antagonism from a student, it is really, really difficult to be able to get that person in the right angle to help them make money if the opportunity that we're talking about here is money, right? Most of these high ticket sales that you're going to make will be aimed at people making money in real estate, the stock market, Bitcoin, digital marketing, what else? E-commerce, how to make money with Amazon, all kinds of things, right? And these programs go for $20,000, $10,000, $15,000. You should be getting paid 15% at least. I know some pay 10%, but that's a little low in my opinion. 15%, 20%, some of them, right? So when you're really taking these people through the process, you got to let them know even before they object to anything, you let them know that we're going to be evaluating, or you're going to be evaluating the process just to earn the appointment with the person who's the expert who will be addressing all the technicals with them, right? If someone says to you that um, I get prospects sometimes and they're so, what's the word, fresh, and it just, yeah, but don't worry about it. We don't need to go through that. Just let's speed up the process. I'm a salesperson. I know how it works, or whatever. Typically I'm a salesperson. I know how it works. Why don't we just get to the nitty gritty? And at that point, I have to do a takeaway, right? Because now the guy thinks he's going to dominate the call, especially when they're salespeople. He's going to dominate the call. He's going to tell me that it's okay that I can, just do whatever he wants. And one of the things I tell him is, look. So I already gave you kind of a rebuttal, right? So this is could be you can add it to the rebuttal I gave you, or you can say this by itself, or you can do a mixture of both. And one of the things that works the best is, look, I great. It sounds like you're a great salesperson, saleswoman, salesman. I don't have any doubt that you're better than me. I don't care. I give them all the credit. I don't care. It's not gonna hurt my ego, right? I have a plan, and my plan is gonna work out, right? But here's the thing. Uh, I have I have people that supervise my work, and one of the things that they have been that they um, give me feedback on is how ethical I am with my work. So I'm not going to jeopardize whatever steps we have to go through for anybody, right? And it'd be kind of unfair if I do it for you, but I don't do it for somebody else. It's kind of like if I come to your job and I tell you how to do your job, right? You would probably tell me, you know what, dude, this is my office, this is my territory. You're not going to come here and tell me how to do my job. So I'm not going to take, uh, with all due respect, I need to follow the process in the way that my superiors tell me to do it. That's a takeaway. But you have to do that with significant posture. All right. And we're going to find out what posture when we talk about posture and takeaway on in a call that we're going to do in a little bit. All right. So it's important that you guys um, build that rapport, that position yourself with posture so that you can do takeaways. Takeaways are extremely important. Extremely important. All right. And we're going to find out how they work. Okay. If anybody has a question, I'm willing to take questions, guys. Let's find out if you guys have questions here. Yeah, I was able to listen to you without the mic on. Oh, okay. Okay, Joey. Sorry, I just got to these comments a little bit later. Anybody has a question in regards to takeaway? If you guys have a question, if you guys have a question, that would be great. Nobody? All right, cool. All right, let's talk about, guys, let's talk about the mindset of prospects. And this is one of the things that when I have taken people that come from other training places, right? People that sign up for the hype, right? Because everybody is, um, in, sometimes the marketing is really strong. Sometimes just a variation of reasons why people feel I want to go. And don't get me wrong, everybody that is in any given industry, right, wants to have success, wants to be massively known and sell massively whatever it is that they sell. I get it. it's the marketplace, right? It's competition, um, and that's fair. It's fine. But the problem is, a lot of these places send guys to floors that are not even half ready to start selling any type of high ticket. And one of the things that I have to fix a lot of the times with guys that pay $9,000 or $12,000, I mentioned this last time, is they get on the phone. First of all, they don't understand how to position themselves, how to deal with people that have stronger personalities, especially because, when you're 22 years old and you have a guy who's, 40 and who's a powerful guy, sounds very articulate, very smart. Um, Most of the times, these guys feel dominated by folks like this, and because they haven't been trained on how to do it, right? So, in order to dominate a call, we have to understand who we are dominating. Okay, so let's talk about the toughest mindsets with prospects, and let's find the approach for those people. And let me just be honest with you guys. If it doesn't make sense to work with someone, and you have to, and the disagreement for whatever objective you have on that call is so strong to the point that you don't feel that you feel that you're gonna damage the brand more than helping the brand, let that person go. It just doesn't make sense. Your boss will appreciate being an exceptional closer in an exceptional setter means understanding what is not going to be feasible for the company or in the best interest of the company. Whatever company you're working for, you have to look out for that company's best interest because they're paying you, they're giving you leads, and they're giving you everything that's sufficient for you to make money. And if you put people of the wrong character in the midst of that process, these people are going to complain. Uh, they're going to, create drama, problems, distractions, and at the end, it's all going to be the problem, the fault, the responsibility of the mentor. You don't want that because you don't want the company you work for having bad reviews online because somebody just decided that they are, above the process. Nobody is, right? So how do we how do we profile that? When you hear the calls of the people, and you're gonna hear me during a close, part of the close. We're not gonna do the whole thing, right? On It is important for the setter to establish, to posture the closer as well, right? Create that importance about the closer. So how do we profile these customers? You get on the phone, and the first how they say hello to you tells you a lot about the customer. The way they say hello to you, it tells you what kind of people they hang out with, what kind of business they're in, what's their speed in how they think, just in the way they say hello. If someone picks up the phone and say, "Yo, what up?" Right? Even though that's it's hip and it's part of the culture, and it's a great way to talk to friends amongst friends. When someone picks up the phone, you already understand this is a younger guy who's very uh, relaxed in the way that he lives his life, right? What up, yo? That's not a banker answering the phone, right? So you already know you're going to be dealing with a younger guy, younger mind, someone who's more relaxed in life, right? If someone answers the phone and says, for instance, "God bless," For instance, hello, praise the Lord, right? Even though it's a beautiful blessing that they throw right in the beginning, you're going to talk to someone who's probably ultra conservative, someone who is a believer, right? So you got to be very tactful in the way you talk to those people, right? Because you got to be careful. Now, those people are going to be kind of frugal because these people are they typically have to pray before. I mean, these are people that really believe in what they believe, and we've got to respect that, right? Because we got to respect. We're going to be dealing with a lot of people from a lot of backgrounds, so never cross the line. Um, be careful when you get into conversations, and this is what I keep telling people: don't get into these calls to make friends. It's the worst thing that you can do. You're not here to make friends. You can have a very amiable information conversation. You can have a very comfortable conversation, but never cross the line of becoming friends. And how do we know we cross the line? Well, if we start getting to personal things that do not pertain to the conversation. Um, don't talk, and we're talking about setting up the profile of the psychology of the prospect, right? Do not get into certain conversations, guys. You're gonna get into trouble. If you hear someone who talks a lot about politics, just brush it off. Try to stay clear. Don't get into conversations like that. Number one, people that get into, let's say someone complains a lot about Trump, or somebody complains a lot about, in the time of Biden, a lot of people complain about Biden. Nowadays, we live in a bipolar world, right? A world divided, I mean, really divided. And we have to accommodate, we have to be inclusive, right? We have to accommodate, regardless of how you feel, you have to respect all kinds of people. And if you feel disrespected, then it's okay for you to voice that you're being disrespected, and it's okay for you to part from the call, right? It doesn't really happen a lot because a lot of people that are looking for financial opportunities, especially with coaches and such, are people that are not looking to have a fight, pick up a fight. But you'll find some of them, especially if you provoke those people. So do not get into political conversations. Is the fastest way to waste a lot of time, to lose posture, for two reasons. One or two reasons. One, if the person aligns with your personal beliefs, you guys are going to become friends, pals, and this is going to be a conversation, and he's going to strike points and things that you're going to feel very emotional about, and then you're going to respond to that, and that's just not business. That's not how we conduct business. Period. All right. That's just the way it is. Uh, the second possible outcome of this is he hates your position, and you hate his, and now you're making the brand, you're putting the brand in the middle, the company you work for, you are involving the name of the brand because you are representing the name of that brand. So you got to be careful with that, right? Global warming, leave it alone. Same thing. That's very political. All right, it's going to create problems. All right. Um, if someone asks for your direct opinion on whatever issue is very tender or very delicate, just say, I want to say, listen, John, with all due respect, I want to make sure that we stay on course. And the reason why you subscribe to this call when you ask for an expert to give you a call is because you want to talk about business. With all due respect, I want to maximize our time. I have other things to do. So if you don't mind, we can stay on course. Is that okay with you? All right. I don't want to be disrespectful. It's just not the conversation. Just be frank, right? The more you are logical, remember, guys, I always talk about logic. as the number one thing for why, or for the reason why people will respect you, and you earn the right to be called the expert once you make them respect you for the ethical behavior that you have. Be transparent. Just let them know. Don't try to, um, yeah. Don't try to. Don't talk about sports. Don't talk about sports. Same thing. Um, oh, I love that team. That's a great team. I love it. One of the things that I do as a trick so that I don't have to confront people, if I don't want to confront people, if I'm having a great conversation with somebody and they deviate into a different subject, I let them talk. And sometimes they just go off and talk and talk and talk. And this can work for just any situation where people just sometimes prospects can talk. What you do is when you feel that they're taking a little longer than what they should take, instead of interrupting and saying, I think I have a comment here. Religion, football, and politics divide people. That's correct, Elliot. And it's just trouble. Honestly, it's just trouble. All right. So when you are so if you don't interrupt people abruptly, right? And they don't have to feel like, oh, this guy just interrupted me. What I do is they're going off talking about something, and then they start talking about the sister and the cousin and how they hired an attorney because they had a case, and now we're talking about something that has nothing to do with my call. Then I grab something that they say, I overlap, right? Right on top of their speech. I grab that word, I make it mine, and I make a comment about how somehow I'm gonna tie that conversation, that word, to my benefit. So if someone says, "Yeah," and my cousin called the cops on her husband because and then the attorney called, boom, right there, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, attorneys can be really, really good for those situations." Like we in the business, we employ a lot of attorneys. By the way, let me ask you this question. When was the last time that you invested into real estate? Boom. I got him off the topic. I didn't have to fight with them. I didn't have to, give them a hard time. And I was not the bad guy. But I took control of that call. You got to, especially with people that talk a lot, you got to take control of the call because they're going to try to take control a lot. So if someone does that a lot in that call, at some point you're just going to have to tell them, uh, John, I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure that I protect your time. I know you got things to do, and we're business people here around on the go all the time. Can we stay on target? Can you help me, please? Because I gotta go take care of another call, and I need to finish. If you are respectful, logical, and you make sense in that way, they're just gonna stop, right? They're gonna stop. And if they just feel offended, you did everything possible that you could possibly do to not, break your rapport with that person. But at some point, you just got to move on and never uh, be very, very aware of what being aggressive is versus being disrespectful. Okay? Be aggressive, don't be disrespectful. All right? Um, it's very important to understand that. All right? All right, let's see. What True Yellow. Yes, Marco. Marco's here. How are you, Marco? Good to have you. All right. Uh, I want to. All right. All right, guys. All right. Perfect. Uh, other significant reasons or ways um, to be able to understand the psychology of prospects. How do we profile? Young guys, well, those are my favorite. 23, 25, 22, maybe even 30. And these guys are going to talk fast. They're going to talk fast. They have watched a lot of YouTube, a lot of gurus, so they know a lot of good quotes. They know what's hip in the market. They're going to talk a lot about Bitcoin, and they're going to talk a lot about the stock market, and they're going to sound like they know what they're talking about. These guys are really cool. I like them a lot because they're very young guys. There's only about 1% of people at the age of 20 who are surgical in business. Only about 1% of people are true to are meant to make a lot of money when they're 20 or 25. 90, I'm not going to say 99, let's say 90% of all the young people that really think they got the right stuff and they're going to be billionaires, they call company after company after company just to fight the people on the phone. They just love to bring. I know more than you. I'm from this generation. I listen. I don't want to fight with people from this generation. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I think you guys can take over the world. I think every generation is smarter than the one before when they listen to the one before, to the generation before. So a lot of these guys are just giving you a call just to give you a hard time. When I hear guys that age, when they call and they're the real deal, these guys behave a little slower. They might be very excited about things in life, but they also understand and treat themselves and others with the respect that business people that have that talent from birth, that talent that's innate. Um, you can tell. You can tell in the way they talk. They're not there to be cocky or boast about what they know. They're more there to learn from you. And I've seen a lot of bright minds, and I've had a lot of fun with these guys, helping them in the process, and it's a joy to work with them. But most of them are just at an age that is they're not prepared, they're not mature enough. So you got to figure that one out fast. Do the takeaways, and they'll just eliminate themselves. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to have the money that you're looking for. They're just not. And if they have the money, they're going to be too afraid. It's just for a 22-year-old. If they have $15,000, it took him a while to get there. It probably took him not, to stay home every weekend, not to buy the car they wanted to buy, to put that money together. So for them to part ways with the money, give it to a mentor, they don't see the value of that. So you gotta get there quickly, right? And most of them don't have the credit enough to be able to put it on credit cards, even if they wanted to. So it's not the best type of mentality, right? Millionaires. There are three types of millionaires. Um, did we talk about this before? I think I probably made a video about this. So three types of millionaires. Yeah, I think I talked about this before. I'm just gonna say it again, just so that we can refresh some information. Three types of millionaires. First type, the guy who inherited the money, right? The guy who just got lucky and parents just gave him the money or passed away, whatever, right? They got the money, right? These people do not understand about business, and they typically are the type of people that, depending on their character, some of them are very afraid of everything, and some of them are very, you know, shiny object chasers, right? Um, Typically, these guys are not into investing. They already got the money. typically, right? Now, when I describe a mindset, I'm not saying 100% of those people. Like everything in humanity, right? It's not just 100% of people. It's the common denominator, if you will. The second type of millionaire is the type of guy who is very extremely cautious in throughout, especially bankers. This happens a lot with uh, bank managers, uh, regional managers of banks, any type of managerial job that they have. This is going to be one of them. So these guys are so afraid of everything. They just did everything right. Somehow they hit the economy in the right place. They got lucky, and now they have $4 or $5 million in assets, and typically they don't have any liquid. They're cash poor, but they have a lot of properties, right? And now, when I say cash poor, I mean they might have 50, $60,000 in the bank and credit, really good credit. They might have $200,000 on credit cards, but they're not cash um, flowing, right? They don't really have a lot of money, but they have a lot of properties. That's why they're millionaires, right? Which is a good place to be. I mean, I'd rather have property, solid wealth than money, right? Because money devaluates properties. You get money, you go quickly and invest it, preferably in real estate, because you hold your money and you know your money is going to increase. Even in down times, you just give it a little bit of time and it'll come back up, right? In real estate is one of my fortes. The third kind of millionaire is the guy that came from nothing, built himself up, lost money, made it back, takes risks. It's a dangerous guy. Sometimes his family lives in a palace, sometimes his family lives in a basement, but he makes it back up and he'll find that palace for his family again. Those guys are the best because they're not there to waste your time. They're very, very forward in the way they talk. They don't get hurt when you tell them the truth. When you not when you tell them the truth, I hope you're telling everybody the truth. But when you're being straightforward with them, they love it. Let's get to the. I still, take them through the process. Not just because you're an awesome guy and I like you, and the way you behave is something someone I like. I'm just gonna let you cut corners. I'm not gonna do that. Right? I always make everybody follow the process. Make every single person follow the process. Even if someone says, "I'm ready to give you a credit card," that's a shiny object, guys. Someone who makes a precipitated decision like that, where they just call you. I mean, I've had people give me a call. Hey, I love this guy, whatever brand I'm selling. I love this guy. I'm ready. How much is it? Let's go. Let's move forward. I'm like, wait, hold on. How, you're gonna pay 15,000, $20,000 without understanding what we're doing here? Um, and then once I take him through the process, then I notice things about him. One time that I can remember, one of those guys ready to give me a credit card. I didn't want to take it. He was a doctor. I remember now. He was a doctor. He was ready to give me a credit card, but I said no. Let's have a conversation first. Let's make sure this works for you. I need to find out certain things about you, and I need you to find out certain things about us. Yeah, sure enough, he was the guy gave me hell. Right? I could have taken his credit card. Instead, I chose to find out about his personality. Wrong guy to work with. I told him, I'm sorry, we cannot work with you at this point. My apologies, but I think you have way too many questions that are not relevant. You think of right questions. You are a bright guy because you're a doctor and you think you're asking the right questions, but the answers I have do not match the questions you have because you think they're the right questions, but you're not even understanding where to aim your questions at. So he complained. I talked to the owner of the company. I said, this is the reason why. He listened to the call and said, yeah, no, I agree with you, man. There hasn't been one time that I turned someone down, even though they want to give me money, that the owner of the company is not in agreement with me. It's just the way it is. All right. Awesome. All right, guys. I am going to share the people. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Uh, okay. All right. Um, all right, guys. I'm going to share a conversation. I love to do this. Let me see the minute, so you don't have to hear the entire conversation. That's going to be 16. All right. I want you guys to watch this because we're going to talk about. You're going to see. You guys are going to see a training session right here, and during that training session, you're going to learn about the mindset of the customer, and it's a discussion. It's a good discussion. So I want you guys to hear it. So hold on. Give me 1 second. All right. So here we go. Hold on. Let me see, guys. Again, give me 1 second because this video is not. Let me see. I'm gonna share, and I want to know if you guys are watching this. Give me 1 second, guys. I, I forgot to take the mic so you guys heard what I was saying there. Anyway, guys, I'm back. All right. So for some reason, I'm not being able to share that. Uh, I really want you to look at this video. So I'm going to leave it for the next class that we have next Tuesday. All right. Let's see. Let me just go right here. Bobby told me he was going to be in the room, but he was working on something. So that's excellent. Please put speakers close again. All right, Marco, I gotcha. Marco, I wanted to do the video, but I didn't. So, did you guys understand? While I learn this, you guys can learn with me as well. My apologies. It's just the way it is. Um, I can share. No? Just talk, sir. Okay. I can do share. I need to share the video. I can't. I can't because it's not on. When I look for it, it doesn't give me the option. It doesn't give me the option for this. For this. You see? We need to figure it out. Not right now. We'll figure it out for the next time. All right, guys. So, um, if anyone has any questions, I know that if you're attending this webinar, this training, you're doing it at a very early part of this venture that I have, right? And I get it. It's a little bit, I do my best to give you everything I got as far as my knowledge, so that you guys can understand. A lot of this information, guys, that I'm sharing with you is information that, first of all, I don't think you're going to see it anywhere else. And, and second of all, I really don't think that they're going to give it to you for free. I really don't think this is massive intellectual property. Massive, right? And thank you for attending. I want you to take advantage of this. Make notes, because even if you don't sell high ticket, let me tell you what I've been told by many people. Now, I mean, I'd say probably thousands of people that I've trained. I've seen people even name brands that when I meet them, they have a certain type of personality where they're very a little bit reserved. They're introverts, and when I train them, it's not just this training is going to bleed into your life. It's just going to help you understand other people. It will help you understand how to behave yourself when you have situations um, with people outside the line of work. And really, when I talk about posturing people on the phone, it works in real life. It really does. And this is real life, right? Selling is real life. It's just the way it is. So take notes, because this is going to work. I have a guy named Jordan, and I had a call center with actually they were doing the high ticket for Coach Gianni. I think I talked about him last time, and he was from England. Really cool kid, and he came to work for me. I trained him. We lasted. He was there for about 2 months. Then he went back to England, and then 3 years later, I get a message on Facebook saying, "Jader, you have no idea. For 2 years I've been doing this, that, and the other, and now I landed a job with J.P. Morgan." And I remember when they were asking the questions to get this job, there were questions about things that you taught us back then, that you trained me in. And I brought all that training into my head, and I started remembering. I answered according to what you said, and I passed the interview. And now I'm basing everything that I'm doing right here based on how you train me. I can't remember what kind of job he landed, but to hear someone 3 years later that you trained him, how my training was good for something else other than high ticket sales, is an incredible thing to have. I really feel privileged about doing that and having that in my life. So, guys, take advantage of this, because this is an incredible opportunity to learn about life and about how mindset works. Joey says that means that anyone can become a closer even if they have never sold anything. I, she just nailed it right on the head, right? Right on the head. Um, Marco, I promise you, man. I So it's one of those things that I feel uh, that if I make mistakes right now, it's better than making mistakes later. Um, so YouTube Live has a feature where you can share videos, right? But they only select the things that you can share. And the video that I have, the application that I have, the program that I have for that video, that video's in, is not shared by YouTube. So I couldn't share the screen. I have to find out if I have to put in photos in the cloud to be able to share it. I think that's the only way that YouTube. I'm pretty sure there are applications that can do that for live events like this. We're doing research to find the right applications so that we can have more options and more opportunities to give you guys more comfort, better quality of training for sure. As long as you're trained properly. Yes, Marco. Yes, as long as you're trained properly. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marco. That comment was right. It's so opportune, so in time for that comment. Excellent. All right, guys. We're gonna cut it short. Typically, I'm over 2 minutes. I have two lives, so I'm going back and forth. Typically, I go 2 minutes over, but today I'm gonna just cut it right here. I want to thank you so much. If I talk a lot, stop me and ask me questions. I talk a lot because it's my passion to teach you guys and bleed as much knowledge as I can and leave it right here for you guys to grab. Right? I'm gonna post this. These events get posted every single time that I do one, so you can come back and review the material. And if you have questions, send me a text. Send me, open up the conversation in school. You are in the community. Just open up the conversation, guys. Thank you so much. Let's have fun. Behave this weekend. Control your impulses, and I'll see you next Tuesday, guys. All right. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.